guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do an updated tour of my craft room. We have decided that we are moving and I wanted to make sure and go over all of this in depth. I'll go through every drawer, every cubby so that you can see what I've done. Of course, I'll be putting up links to all of these things and I've updated a lot of those. As we get into this, if you would take the time to subscribe and like, I would really appreciate it. I have an entire series of my craft room. So some of these things, if you want more information on them, I'll try to put a card up at the top so that you'll know that you can link to another video. We're going to start with the Calyx units that are on one side of my room. I love these units from IKEA because they fit scrapbook things so well. So we're going to go over what I have in here. I'm going to do every single cube so you will see. But we'll start at this far end where I have some Stamp and Storage Company's ink pad holders. These fit perfectly for IKEA units. I know I have one that's empty right there, but I'm planning on putting distress inks in that. And they come in different sizes. So they have a distress ink one, they have a regular standard size, and then lots of other things you can get for IKEA. These two units are from Amazon and they're called Deflecto storage cubes. I will link those for you, but I keep all of my markers in there except for my watercolor markers, which I've got right here in these little bins, just because I'm worried the watercolor markers might leak if they're laying sideways like that. So in here, I've got storage of tools. Yes, I usually put that on my desk when I'm working. And then I've got this long refrigerator bin where I put lots of Nuvo powders and such. So with this here, you'll see that I've also got a card from Mona Toth, who recently sent me something for the auction. These are what I keep all of my ribbons in, and they come from IKEA. I think they're only a couple dollars, glass jars with a little bit of a padding there. And I just do my ribbons in rainbow order because I love keeping everything in rainbow order. Got a few cubes I've dedicated just to scrapbooks, and then I have all of my paper storage. I do have an updated in-depth look at how I store this stuff. So these are plastic containers that hold 12 by 12 paper. In some of these, you'll see that I have plastic sleeves that I can slip paper down into. I like to use that for paper packs or just scraps of a certain color, things like that. They are $2 or $3 each, so I don't do them for every single pack of paper that I have. Four of those Storage Studio paper files fit per cube. And you'll see we're moving on to a slim ink holder that I keep my Altenew inks in. And then in this cube, I wanted to show you that you can fit two of these bins. I'm going to put how to spell these bins. They're from IKEA. They are very sturdy, and I've got lots of heavy things because I store my stamps with magnets. You can get bins that look exactly like this and are the same dimensions at the Container Store if you have one of those, but they are definitely not as sturdy. I bought some to compare and they were nothing like the IKEA bins, and they were more expensive. So you'll notice in this bin that I have my printer and some extra dividers and paper for printing photos. If you see down here, I've got dividers. So I bought some dividers from the stamp market, these colored ones with the tabs, but they're expensive. So I made my own dividers using my favorite type of cardstock and the laminator, and I think those work great as well. I've got an entire video on this and how it's done. So if you want to check that out, I'll put it up here in a card. I organize my stamps and dies by company, and I do that because when I'm doing Instagram or YouTube and I'm trying to showcase a specific company's things, I have it all together and kind of look at what I've got in my collection from that specific company. You can organize them any way you want, but a lot of times I'll take the company logo and stick it on the front of my bin with some sticky tape too. On these lower levels, I put ones that I probably don't use quite as much, but this has my stencil storage. It has some smaller collections that I have. I decided to put all my stencils right in front there. I felt like that was the easiest way to get to those if you're doing mixed media. Of course, I've got extra space. And in this one, I did two bins again. In this other bin, I just took an extra piece of something that I had to raise it up so I could see that it was back there. But I keep card fronts and these little plastic things that go around the cards. I store all my cards based on theme, and I put every single one of them in some type of plastic just to protect it. And I usually end up sending it in that plastic in the mail. And all these dividers were made with cardstock, laminator, and a label maker, so it makes it very easy. Here's a close-up look of the boxes from IKEA that I use. I spelled it again because I have no idea how to pronounce that, and what they can hold. So the large box can hold a 6x8 stamp set next to a 4x6 stamp set, which is perfect for me. In this next cubby, I keep all of my plates for my Gemini Junior, some action wobbles, things like that. And then this next one, I use the small bin and I keep embellishments. So little dots and little bitty stickers. And then I have a whole bin right here of just eyelets and fun little shapes. This bin came from Target. It's a little flimsy, but it does fit perfectly right beside this other one. And I'll try to find a link for those. I've had some trouble locating that, but it's basically just a little drawer organization bin. This is where I keep my large things like punch holders and crocodiles and staplers and things like that. It's just a bin full of larger things that don't really store well in anything else, so it's good to put them in a bin. The next one over will be things like my blending brushes. So I love these little plastic containers that hold them. Love those little iCrafter brushes. And I just picked up this other container that's got the squares in it. I picked that up at the Container Store last time I was there, and it fits perfectly in here. I just put some different things, some foil, some adhesives, things that I have a little trouble storing because they're small. And then this, as we move towards the end of this unit, most of it is scrapbooking things, stuff from my kids' schools, that kind of thing, and pictures that I need to scrapbook. Down here, I did all of my letter stickers. I got tired of trying to figure out how to organize those, so I just put them in some bins. This one is my bin that has my label maker, all of my stamp pouch holders. So when I'm going to get something new in and organize it, I immediately pull out this bin and it has everything. It's got magnets. So I do have an entire thing on that video on stamp storage that uses that, so you see it. And then adhesives. Adhesives to me are always hard to store too because you have so many. So I just did two bins. And I use this thing that I believe I got at Michael's just to keep acrylic paint. You know, I have some Martha Stewart paint, some things that I do with the kids and crafting, things like that. And this fit perfectly in here, so I just used that bin and didn't try to reorganize it. This is also from Michael's or a craft store, and it's a card keeper, but what I use it for is envelopes. So I have a lot of envelopes just from Amazon that I put in here in different colors. If they're from a specific manufacturer like Gina K right there, I do keep up with the color so that I can match my cardstock and the backing of it with that. So this is that whole side of the room. We've gone through everything over there, and now we're going to go and kind of look at this desk. This is my favorite splurge for the craft room. It's a stand-up desk, so you can raise and lower the height. It is 71 inches in length, which is the biggest one of these I could find. So with this, I have a lot of space. I do keep this on my desk. It's a totally Tiffany Ditto organizer, just for small things, pens that I use often, scissors, things like that. It just keeps it all in one spot and it fits well on the edge. I'm going to show you how this desk works too, but underneath it I do have a small Calyx unit from an old desk that I had, and it fits underneath this desk. I'm guessing if I went all the way down I might smush it a little bit, but I always keep my desk high. So this has buttons. A lot of these types of desks have cranks. I'm trying to get my hand out of the shot for you. But as you see, it just moves up an inch at a time, down an inch at a time. You can set what your favorite settings are there on that 1, 2, 3, 4. I love it. I keep it plugged in and it doesn't use batteries. I also keep a big power strip back here to plug in everything else I want to set on my desk, like these lights and any tools that I'm using. These lights were about $25 at Amazon, and they have different modes and brightness settings. I use this when I'm filming for YouTube. It really gives me a lot of light. Since my window's over on that side, sometimes I need light from the other angle. Okay, let's head to the other side of the room. This is where I have Alex drawer units, and on top I keep my shot box. This is from We Are Memory Keepers, and it gives me a lot of good light. My house does not have a great place with natural light, so I tend to use this for most of my picture taking, and it works great. And it can fold down, but I just leave it set up since I use it all the time. These drawer units are very wide. Each one has a three thinner drawers and then three that are slightly bigger. I put some more of these boxes over here. This is my needs to be photographed, and I'm getting it ready to store. So I put these stickers on the back of my cards, keep my remote in there so I don't lose it. And then this other bin are backgrounds I've made, envelopes I've made, things that I just haven't decided what to do with them yet, but I put time into them and I hate to waste them. So I keep them up here in case I come up with something to use them for. Top of the next one, I keep these little plastic things. They're called clutter keepers, and I got them at my local craft store, but they hold my Misty, a paper trimmer. This back one, I hold my big Misty and some of the backgrounds that go in the shot box. So that just keeps things standing up, and I don't have to slide it in where I can't see it. I love to see what I have available. And on the last of these risers here, I keep my Cricut machine. These risers are made as like a stand for a computer monitor, but they fit perfectly on these. Amazon is where I got them, and right now they don't seem to have the white ones, only black and some other natural colors, but I'll make sure to link for you. And then I've put some of my refrigerator bins in here, another one of those IKEA bins. I'm trying to keep up with if I've already stamped and colored images but didn't use them, where I put those. These jars are nice for when you have a ton of one thing. So I have a ton of snowflakes. I made a lot of winter cards this year. Sorry for my hands there. So it works well for that. I also keep things that are in jars that are too thick to fit in the Alex units below. So they're only a certain height, and some of these jars are just too big. So I keep some of those on there. And this is just a little like makeup drawer unit that I keep different holidays. So like Christmas lawn fawn pieces. And then I've got some bigger items like my foil press with a little bin of foil. This is one of those bins from Target that's in their desk organization section. And of course, a Heidi mink machine with some of her foils too. So it's a great place to put those where you're not having to stack them on top of each other and possibly damage anything. And then on the last riser, I have my paper trimmer. That paper trimmer is so big, so it's hard to find a place for it. I was excited it fit there. And then I got this new Works tool, which I cannot wait to do a video on and start working with a couple more of those Target little pencil organizers. So we've seen all of the top of the Alex units and how I've organized those. Now let's go through each drawer and see what we're doing. I have a drawer of embossing powders. I label my embossing powders and actually turn them upside down so I can compare my swatches over to the side to what number is on the bottle. I will eventually do a video of this, but I don't have a specific one yet. It just helps me to look for colors that I'm wanting to use in my project and find them easier versus looking at them the other way. Y'all are going to have to look at my feed in some of these because I couldn't figure out any other way to film opening drawers. I use a lot of things that are extra bins from previous moves and such. So you're going to see some random bins in these. So I keep my punches in here, which I rarely use these anymore, but I put them in a specific drawer just so I knew where they were. All my Cricut supplies are in this drawer, mats, extra pins, things like that. This drawer has some of my wooden block stamps and stamp pads, cleaners, things like that that I really don't use very often, but I wanted to keep them in their own section. This last one has my mink folders, extra plugs, things that go to the Cricut because I don't leave it plugged in all the time. Next, I move to my watercolor drawer. This is the container for all my watercolor sets. It's got some swatches in here. I keep some of my Distress ink refills. I don't have many of those, but as I get more, I may move those to a different drawer. Okay, so next we'll go to some of my embellishments. I keep the confetti in these little bins in here are dollar store bins. I like to keep everything in its original packaging just so I know the brand and where it came from. So I've kind of got 2 drawers worth of this type of stuff, but I mainly keep clay embellishments, some sequins, and all these Nuvo confetti jars in this drawer. Each of these sections is organized by manufacturer as well. I told you we were going to do all the drawers, so this one doesn't have much in it, just some glitter paste and random things with an organizer that I found somewhere. And then the next drawer is alcohol ink products, so things that I need for alcohol inks. I tried to do a couple shots of this one just so you could see what all I have in here. Paper, felt daubers, and blending solution. Most of my distress inks are these little cubes, so I have a couple of containers here that I put those in, and the daubers and my little pads that go on the different colors so you could see. Already showed you some ribbon storage on top of my Calyx unit, but this is my extra ribbon that I don't use very often, or twine, things like that. So I just have a drawer full of it. Haven't really decided how else to organize it. This is my washi tape drawer, and I want you to notice the containers that have the 2 layers of washi tape in them. They're kind of a basket weave. I'm going to show those up close. The other container is a pencil holder, so I just lined a lot of things up there. And then I have a lot of these larger washi tape rolls that I just keep over to the side on some non-slip shelf liner. This stuff comes in handy in these drawers if you're not wanting everything to slide around. When I have it in bins, I don't usually line it with that, but when there's things that aren't in bins, it's very nice to keep them from sliding around. Here's those containers. It comes in a pack like this with all of these, and you can get these on Amazon. I got this at my local craft store for $9.99. So I'm going to make sure I link that at the bottom for you. I really love these containers. I think I've seen some things like this at Target as well. They fit in the thinnest of the Alex unit drawers, so they're not going to hit the top. And I really think you could get 3 rows of washi in them. I just put a little extra space in there so I'd have room for my washi collection to grow because everybody needs more washi tape. After this drawer, I have my next sequin and embellishment and jewel drawer. This one, lots of the companies have containers that they send variety packs in. So I've got those Pinkfresh ones with a little round in them, other sequin packs that I've just put in rainbow order. This whole company had a whole rainbow set that I bought. So when they come in these packages, I hate to take them out. So I've just left them in there until I come up with some other way. I also have a little small collection of glitter that I keep in this drawer. We've already seen a drawer of ink cubes, but these are layering stamp ink cubes where they come in order of how you layer them, and so I kept them in a separate drawer. This drawer has brads, wire, all kinds of little extra things, and you could tell here I'm using an egg container to hold those little brads in different colors, but this is a very miscellaneous drawer. Next, I put all of my Delusion inks. I've got shimmer inks, regular inks, and a few other various ones there, of course, in rainbow order. And then I always keep my swatches with the drawer they go with so that I can pull this swatch out and decide what color I'm going to use that will work with my project. The next drawer is chipboard, and I recently got rid of a lot of this, so there's just a few things in this drawer. We're back to the first set of units, and this is right under my shot box. So I keep all of my extra tools that I don't like to keep on my desk. Lots of watercolor brushes. I have extra blades for my trimmer. I have extra rolls of printer tape that I use in my label maker, extra erasers. And these little bitty bins came from Target. They're those kind of flimsy bins like these right here that hold pencils. So anywhere in the desk organization section, you could find those. This drawer has another one of the Dollar Tree organizers, and it also has a couple of bins from Target. I use this mainly for die cuts that I've cut out and I know I would use again, so I'm going to fill up all those little spaces with them, and I have a few buttons in here. I call this one my sentiment drawer, so I've got sentiment strips, I've got extra sentiments I've cut out, foiled, or just have extra of and hate to throw away because you can use them. So this is a Tailored Expressions holder for their specific sentiment strips, so I can go ahead and have them cut out in a lot of different colors and easily grab them. I've got some Pinkfresh ones and just a few other random spatterings of those in there. This drawer features a stamp and storage unit that holds little bottles. I use these for my Nuvo drops, for any type of stickles that are in a bottle, and I always go and put the dot of the color on the top so that I can see it better. Since I don't look at these from the side and see the colors, I feel like those dots are nice, and they also give you a true representation of what that color is going to be. These do not fit. So Stone Drops, Nuvo Dream Drops, those are too big, too tall for the drawer. And the Stone Drops are too wide to fit in this container, but it really is helpful to keep them from sliding around. Last drawer today is the Distress Oxide Spray drawer. It's got a couple of other sprays in here, but I organize these in rainbow order and keep swatches in the drawer with it. So this concludes our tour. I put up some pictures here of the room. I want to make sure that if you're going to buy anything that you please click through the links below. That really helps my channel. And make sure you subscribe, like, and hit notifications because I am moving soon. So I will be putting up some videos of how to move your craft supplies, ways to pack them, and ways to set up a new room. So we'll have lots of fun with that. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and can't wait to see you again on my channel. Thanks so much.